If you're facing retirement and you're wondering if one of you goes into a nursing home, will that impoverish the one that doesn't go into a nursing home? And typically we're talking about the man being older. He goes into the nursing home. Does the wife have enough money to live on? And in the past, the way the system was built, the woman would be very much impoverished, the spouse at home, and you can swap gender roles here. And so there was such a thing called Medicaid divorce. People would get divorced. They still loved each other. They were still in a committed relationship. They got divorced legally on paper to try to preserve as many assets as they could for the spouse that was going to stay at home, which was typically the wife. So that's no longer as necessary, as popular, because the laws changed to make it a little bit more fair to the spouse that's not going in, so you're not completely broke, right? You still have to live. So what they do is, if, let's say my husband has to go into a nursing home, we will meet with the nursing home staff. They will make us do a financial analysis of all our money. And I'm worried because I'm the one that's staying at home. First of all, you have the stress of your spouse going to a nursing home. Now you have the financial stress. How am I going to survive, right? So it's a high stakes situation here. Everything in my name doesn't count. My stuff, if I have an IRA in my name, a 401k in my name, anything in my name only, checking, that's mine. That's not in the equation. Everything that's in his name or jointly, that's going to go in a pot. And they're going to say, we're going to divide this down the middle. Our joint assets, I get to keep half. So I don't need to get divorced to keep more. Now, sometimes in some states, not a community property state like California, not a community property state, but in the other states, there's still a little advantage where you could keep a little bit more than half if you got divorced. People don't like to get divorced in this situation. I know people closely that have done it recently. So yes, people still do it, but it's not as popular. If you're in a community property state, don't bother. You're not going to get more money. But if you're not, divorce could preserve a little bit more money for you. But for most people that don't want to go through it, they're like, half of the money I get to keep. I get to keep the house, regardless if it's titled in his name or my name. Now, if we're not legally married, then I can't keep the house. If he goes into the nursing home, they make us sell the house. So if all you people are living together, take note. Even no matter how the house is titled, I can keep the house until he passes. If the house is titled in joint names, which is very common, when he goes into the nursing home, I get to keep the house. In most states, it's of any value, no matter how much equity is in the house. I can keep one car. I can keep all our personal possessions, all our jewelry, all that stuff, doesn't matter. I can keep all my private accounts, and I can keep half the money of our joint accounts. Our joint, we'll just say it's all in joint stocks and savings. I can keep half. Now, he will go into the nursing home, and they will make him pay every month until his money runs out. So when you go, you're initially admitted to the nursing home, what they're doing is they're doing that analysis to say how much money you have, how much does your care cost in this facility, how long will your money last? And they'll say your money, because our facility costs $10,000 a month, your money is going to last you 3 years. So if you live past 3 years, you will have exhausted your half of the assets. They will take your monthly Social Security check as well. They'll let you keep $50 for incidentals. It's pitiful, I know, but that's how we do. Now, you are impoverished, you are on Medicaid, and the state will continue to pay for your care, and you won't have to pay anything else because you don't have any money. Now, if you got an inheritance or something, that money then would go to the nursing home. But let's say you don't have any more money, you are on Medicaid as long as you live. When you pass away, Medicaid estate recovery comes in. That's the dreaded they can take the house. Now, they're not going to take the house if I'm the wife and I'm still alive and living in it. Even if it was solely titled in his name. If I'm the wife, legally married, I'm a minor child living in it, or an adult disabled child living in the house, they're not going to make me sell the house while I'm alive and living in it. But when I pass away, oftentimes the children think, oh great, mom's got $800,000 equity in that house. If the bill, the outstanding bill for my husband's nursing home care was $500,000, it can happen. It happened to my stepfather-in-law. They will put a lien on your house and they will get their $500,000. The state gets that money back. And you're like, do they get all the money? Can I pay it? You can pay it off. The kids could pay it off if they wanted to keep the house. Or typically what happens is the house is sold, the nursing home, Medicaid, gets their $500,000. Whatever equity is left would go through your estate. And if you have it divided equally, it goes to your 3 kids. So people are really shocked when they go to sell that house and they find out there's a lien on it. If you have a spouse or a family member that's already in a nursing home on Medicaid, you can go see if they've already put the lien on the house. There's no way around this at this point. Once you're on Medicaid and they're paying for your care, you owe them the money. They're not going to make you sell anything that's your personal assets. They're not coming after my half of our joint assets. But the house is typically the biggest asset that's jointly held that's left. We jointly owned it, so they're coming after what he owes Medicaid. I know it's depressing. I know it's not something anybody wants to talk about, but you need to know how this works so you can plan ahead. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, you might really like this video. Check it out. And we'd appreciate if you subscribe to our channel so you never miss a great video. We put out one every week. Check in the description below this video for a link to our cheat sheet on Social Security and Medicare. And you can also give us a comment if you have a specific question. Always feel free to call us or email us at the Medicare Family.